In this extra step, what we're going to do is actually create a custom material for the purpose of updating our player's hair color. If by chance you have not yet added your player character, which I believe would mean you're still in the week 1 steps, that's okay. You can at least create the material now, and then once you get your character in, you can actually apply it. So all the check setup is concerned about with at this moment is just that you have the material, but obviously if we have our player model, we want to slot that in so we can make use of it. If we have our player model, we can expand the player game object here, find the geometry object, and look for this hairs object. And you'll see there should be a few hair children here. Each one has this skinned mesh renderer component attached. So if we enable that, we can see hair appear on the top of their head. And obviously currently these are all white. And there's a couple different styles to pick from, so we're gonna make a new material that'll give it a nice custom color. So in the resources folder, we want to find that materials folder. It should be empty for you. We're going to right click, go to create, and find material, just like that. And we're going to name this custom hair material. Just like that. And by default, it's going to go to a color of white. What I recommend doing is figuring out which hairstyle you like best. Now, again, if you don't have your player model quite yet, that's okay. You can just pick a color for now. But if you have your player model, figure out which hairstyle you like best. Let's see, which one do I like? That one's cool. So once you find a hairstyle you like, go to your custom hair material and actually drag that up onto the hair object. So I turned on hair 3. Now you'll see custom hair material here is listed as our material. If we hit this little expansion arrow, we can actually edit the material right from our hair game object. So we can actually change the color from right here on the object itself. So I'm going to position my camera nice. And again, if you do not have your player object, you can actually just select the material and do it from the material inspector instead. So we can select the albedo either here on the material inspector or here from our object, and that will pull up our color wheel. We can select the color by grabbing this outside wheel and selecting whatever color we want. So I'm a big fan of the color blue, so I'm going to keep going with the color blue. But then this little box in the middle here is where we actually select the color. So in the top left, we have pure white, the bottom left, we have pure black, and then in the top right, we have the pure form of whatever color that we've picked. So this is a very bright blue, maybe a little too blue for me, so I'm actually going to pull it back towards the white corner a bit and towards the middle to darken it just a touch. Something like that, I think, looks pretty cool. And once you've got that custom color finished, go ahead and save your scene. As we go through and make changes to our player by adding objects or making tweaks and things, let's always make sure that this serves as a nice reminder. Let's always make sure that we select our player, go to the overrides tab, and hit apply all, just to make sure that all of the changes we're making are applied to our player in all of our scenes.